Thank you so much for joining us, Pauline. What did you make of last night's debate?
Neither one, either Chalmers or Taylor, actually endeared me for me to trust or believe what they were telling us. I think there was a lot of lies being spread around and not enough accountability on either side. Chalmers said we were nearly heading $1 trillion debt under the coalition government. That's not true, because the coalition government debt was $600 billion when Labor took over in 2022, and that was driven up mostly by the COVID response, and that was supported by the Labor Party. We're now approaching $1 trillion debt in the next couple of years. It will be $1.2 trillion, and it'll be a cost to the economy of around about $50 billion a year in interest we will be paying. The government, with the high immigration, that has caused the cost of living crisis that we have. They haven't delivered the housing that they said they would. Not one house has been built in the last 2 years under their plan, their fund. The Liberal government wanting to bring in immediately the 26 cents or 25 cents per litre on fuel will be immediate. That will be a great relief to the people. Their $5, tax rebate, that we can't afford. That's just ridiculous. It's giving people not much back at all. I'd like to see the tax fuel excise brought in immediately. So where are the people that we had, the Keating or the Peter Costellos or Matisse Cormann or Josh Frydenberg? They were real treasurers. They're people that could run the country and the economy. I don't have faith in either one, actually.
It's interesting, isn't it, because the night before we saw Anthony Albanese, certainly the winner in the People's Forum on Tuesday night. He won 44 to Peter Dutton's 35, and 21 people were left undecided. What did you think of that debate between the Prime Minister and opposition leader?
I think Albanese has delivered his message. It's clear that people prefer to listen to him than Dutton. We know that. That's quite evident. But Peter Dutton did pull him up on a lot of the lies that he came across with, like the Medicare Scare campaign. It has gone down under Labor, the rebates. You're flat out flying doctors out there. So there is that. Also, Peter Dutton has no intentions of changing education. What I'll tell people is, if One Nation gets the balance of power in the Senate, which is imperative, we cannot afford another 3 years of Labor, Greens, Teals government. The economy is one hell of a mess. What I would suggest to people, if you want to vote for the major political parties in the lower house, but it's imperative to actually have One Nation in the upper house, we've introduced policies and good legislation, improved the legislation when we had that. Don't allow them just to push through. They're buying your vote, throwing money around. Under the Labor government now, they've given another $75 billion in promises. By the end of this election, it'll be $100 billion. What Rudd has offered to the US is that we'll give you our critical minerals. They're selling our country out. The same as Ukraine now, to get a deal with the US, is to sell out their minerals. Minerals, our resources, is what keeps us afloat, and our agriculture. People must understand that. Debt for equity. If we can't pay down our debt, we are going to be lost, because they will come after our minerals. Consider it like your household. If you can't pay the debt in your household, pay your mortgage, they're going to come after you. And that's what's going to happen to our country. Until we get strong leadership, stop buying the votes out there. People understand what is happening to our country. We are losing it. People are in dire straits. Cost of living, they're in poverty. A lot of our kids can't afford, to eat. A lot of families can't afford to eat. In a country like Australia, this is purely because of government legislation and policies. They keep buying your vote, throwing money around. It's not their money, it's your money. Make sure you vote.
With our uncertain global times, with what we're seeing with Donald Trump and his tariffs, it's very uncertain, as we know, and obviously with the cost of living crisis, we're seeing sugar hits by both parties being delivered, whether it's a fuel excise, whether it's a $150 energy rebate, and smaller taxes in 15 months' time. Which party do you believe is fit or the strongest to lead our country moving forward in these uncertain times and in a cost of living crisis?
Definitely the Coalition Party, because they've proven that in the past, where they've always picked up When Howard took over from Paul Keating, it was in $96 billion debt. John Howard, after 11 years, handed over to the Rudd-Gillard government a $20 billion surplus. When Chalmers tell you he brought down 2 surpluses, they found after they took over in 2022 a $50 billion surplus there that they never knew they had. They have been spending money as if it's just water trickling through their fingers. They can't manage the economy. This needs to be addressed, and I warn people here. The only way you will get it is to create more productivity, which we haven't. We've gone down in productivity, or you increase taxes. With the Greens, Teals, Labor government, you will see heritage tax, or not a heritage, inheritance tax, or death duties introduced, or your taxes will go up. This giving you this tax relief in a year's time, a year and a half time, of $5 a week or 70 cents a day, that's rubbish, because they won't address bracket creep. So everyone, if you think you're going to get to $5 a week, that'll be taken away from you, because they won't address bracket creep, where you go in the next tax bracket and then you'll be paying more tax. It's all a scam. It's all lies. It's all the smoke screen.
We've run out of time, but we really appreciate you joining us this morning on Sky News Breakfast.